In extra 3, they asked us to draw two semilines, OX and OY, OX and OY, such that they have the measure of 45 degrees. Yani XOY, angle XOY equals 45 degrees. And they asked us in part B to draw a semiline OZ, okay, this is OZ, such that the angles XOY and YOZ are adjacent complementary. XOY and YOZ are adjacent complementary. When we listen to the word adjacent complementary, as we said before and explained, XOY and YOZ, if they are adjacent complementary, then they are sharing the common vertex O and the common side OY, okay, and their sum must be equal to 90. And if it is if this is a 45 degrees angle, then this is also must be 45 in order to when we add them 45 plus 45 بيعطينا 90. برجع calculate the measure of the angle YOZ, okay, if this is 45 and all of it is 90, since they are adjacent complementary means 90, then هاي بتكون 45, and this is the solution like this. XOY plus YOZ equals to 90 adjacent complementary angles. One of them equal 45, the other will be 45. Okay, deduce that OY is the bisector of XOZ. Deduce that OY is bisector of XOZ. Of course, if this OY cuts the angle XOZ into two equal parts, 45 and 45, into this part and this part, which have equal measures, okay, then OY will be the bisector. Okay, it cuts XOZ into two equal parts. Draw OT, they asked us draw OT, the prolongation or the extension of OX, okay, we draw it, and calculate TOY, this angle here, this angle. هلا, if TO is the extension or the prolongation of OX, then XOT is straight, right? Is straight angle. XOT is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, we have all of it 180. If we subtracted it from XOY from 45, we will get YOT, right? Or we can say that ZOT here, ZOT or TOZ, and XOZ هن adjacent supplementary angles, right? If this is 90 degrees, then the other will be 90, since their sum here 180. okay, إذا كانوا طلعت ZOT 90 and we have YOZ 45, we add 45 and 90, we will get the angle TOY. okay, كمان بيطلع 135 degrees. يعني فينا نعمل subtraction، نعمل كل الانجل straight angle XOT minus ال 45 تطلع، أو we can add ZOT and ZOY, we can get TOY. okay, also they asked us what can we say about XOY TOY. XOY TOY, they are sharing the common vertex O and common side OY, then they are adjacent supplementary angles. since ما تنسوا انه هاي 135 و 45 عم يعطونا 180، right, and their addition يعني هو 180 degrees. They asked us to put point A on OY, on the semiline OY, and E is the orthogonal projection of A on OZ. ما تنسوا E is the orthogonal projection of A on OZ، يعني point E عاملة perpendicular and ال EA perpendicular to OZ at E. اوكي، بتكون ال E orthogonal projection. كلمة ortho يعني 90 degree، يعني right. E is the orthogonal projection، يعني the projection from A to OZ is right at E. عرفتوا شو الفكرة؟ فبتصير ال E is the orthogonal projection of A على ال OZ. اوكي، فرسمناها نحن. What is the relative position of the line AE okay and TX here، TX AE و TX. هلا نحن عرفنا انه AE هي perpendicular ل OZ. Why? Since E is the orthogonal projection of A on OZ. Okay. And كمان we proved that ZOT هي 90, right? يعني ZOT is perpendicular to TOX. طيب, if you have EA perpendicular to OZ and OZ is perpendicular also to TX, then EA and TX are parallel. Okay, since بيصيروا اثنيناتهم perpendicular to the same line OZ. If two lines are perpendicular to the same line, then they are parallel. عرفتوا الفكرة؟ Okay. هلا the last part, let F بيقولوا be point on OX. حطوا F on OX بس بشرط انه تكون ال AF هون parallel to TX. sorry, parallel to OZ here. يعني بشرط تكون اوكي parallel. هذه given انه parallel. فبيقولوا justify ليش الاف هي orthogonal projection of A on OX. يعني عم بيقولوا اسألني ليش هيدي الاف هي orthogonal projection of A on OX. on OX. هلا بنقول نحن since they are parallel, okay, and OZ هو right على OX, okay, لأنه نحن بنعرف إنه ZOX هو 90 proved. أو فإذا OZ بتصير هي right angle عاملة على OX. طب و AF هي parallel ل OZ فإجباري تكون عاملة right angle. ليه؟ Since if you have two parallel lines, one of them is perpendicular to the other, then the second line is also perpendicular to the other. طب إذا أنا هون عندي perpendicular, okay, then فينا نقول إنه ال F هي ال orthogonal projection of A on OX. لعيدة يعني ال F هي عاملة right angle إذا نحن عاملين projection من ال A على ال OX. هي بتكون ال right angle at F. اوكي, يعني بمعنى تاني AFO و AFX هن 90 degree right angles. So F is the orthogonal projection of A على ال OX. E is the orthogonal projection of A on OZ.